Why is it that when black women date outside of their race, suddenly everybody becomes a civil rights activist? Everybody's worried about the community, the culture, and race loyalty. But when black women are disrespected, ignored, cheated on, or told we're undesirable, silence, crickets. Nobody's marching for us. Nobody is yelling about loyalty then. Hey ladies, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, be sure to drop a pink heart in the comments section. And if you enjoy this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe at the end if you're not already a subscriber. Let's get into it. This is why I call this fake outrage, because it only shows up when black women exercise choice, not when we're struggling, not when we're mistreated, not when we're statistically the least protected group, but when we dare to choose love on our own terms. And today, I want to break down why black women can't seem to win, why people say they don't want us, but also don't want us to date out, what the data actually says about interracial marriage, especially black women and white men, and why race loyalty has historically benefited patriarchy, not black women. Buckle up, because we're getting on a roller coaster. Let's start with the obvious contradiction. Black women, we are constantly told we're undesirable, even from our own group of men. We're told we're too loud, too opinionated, too masculine, we're too educated, we're too independent. Dating shows, podcasts, social media all repeat the same tired narratives. But the moment a black woman says, okay, I'll go where I'm appreciating, suddenly it's a problem. So you have people that are in our community, mainly, that are online consuming a bunch of red pill content, sitting at their desks with their dusty beards that they haven't shaved all week, smelling like nothing but bounce that you know what, and they feel the nerve and have the audacity to try to shame black women who are dating outside their race or dating interracially, when all they do is complain about our hair. They complain about the weaves that we wear, saying that they don't like our weaves. We're the only group of women that wear weaves and extensions, when we all know that originally extensions were made for WW women, okay? And that they wear just as much, if not even more, than we do. It just looks a little differently on them because they seem and more tend to wear their own hair texture. So it looks just more natural, but black women can wear kinky straight or kinky curly extensions as well, and you guys would still be complaining about that. We have a group of men in our community that tells us that we're extremely masculine, complain about us being single mothers, right? But they're the same men who are creating these single parent homes, but then you want to bash women for being single mothers or saying that they should have chose better or they should have did better, when you're walking around with 3 to 4 to 5 to 6 baby mamas at your own expense, but you still think you're desirable and it's different from you because you're a man. And then when she goes and get married and she gets a stepdad, you want to go and then call him a simp. But at the same time, you guys want to push for 2-parent homes, even if the parent isn't there, that's biological there, or is toxic for the black woman and she had to choose differently within her life. You guys shame black women for that too. You guys shame black women for nails, as if we're the only group of women that actually goes and get their nails done. But you also complain about us being masculine, but you shame us for doing anything that helps us embrace our femininity and us being soft and us being kind. And then when we are soft and kind, you guys take advantage of that and you want to go above that and go beyond that by having the audacity of asking black women to go 50-50 with you, while you go out and do whatever you want to do, and you sit at home playing Grand Theft Auto at 40 plus years old. Let's really talk about it. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? You guys have been complaining, saying that you're going overseas and you're dealing with other groups of women that are less masculine than black women, as if black women haven't been the literally the main example that I have seen of femininity, when they have shown their softness, have remained loyal, have given you guys love, cook clean for you, even when you don't even deserve it, and even have the ability to go 50-50 with you. But then when you go to all other cultures of women, all of a sudden you men want to be providers. But it doesn't last long because it's all performative based. And when those group of women find out that you guys are performing and it isn't all butterfly and rainbows, you guys come back over to the community and you still batch us, or you want to use another BW woman for protection, while you secretly wait for another woman from a different group to come back and save you and run that again, or you get your pockets ran, and then all of a sudden you're pro-black. Hello? Well, my question is, which is it? You don't want us, but you don't want us to leave either. That's not love. That's about ownership. That's about the idea that black women are supposed to remain available, loyal, and waiting regardless of how we're treated. And when people get mad at black women for interracial dating, what they're really mad about is the loss of control. Because once a black woman realizes that she has options, she's no longer negotiating her worth. She's choosing, and choice is threatening in systems built on hierarchy, which benefits you guys and a lot of the men that are going against us, and in talking about the women that are dating now. It benefits you guys because you guys don't hold power. A lot of you guys that are shaming us, you guys don't hold power in the real world. So you want to try to hold power against your own group of women. But if you really wanted to hold power against your own group of women and you really cared about them, why haven't y'all freed them from YT supremacy? But God forbid if a black woman goes and dates outside of her race and she gets with a man that loves her, desires her, marries her, right? And she climbs up in social status and she climbs up in the social scale, and she's exposed to a different culture, she's exposed to a different network, and she is protected by a ring, family, investments. She's protected by hypergamy and have the option and ability to stay at home or not work. Then all of a sudden she's seen as a traitor, or she's lazy because she wants to live the soft life, but you guys are more than willing to go give the soft life to other groups of women when you guys go pro or go basketball, and those are the first group of women that you try to give all your money to, until you realize that when you're all down and alone, the only woman that's there for you, and most of the groups that are there for you, is your own. I don't get it. I am so tired of the fake swirl outrage. I'm so tired of the constant bashing that we get when we date outside of our race, or black women that date interracially, because you guys just don't like the idea that other groups of men desire us. You guys do not like the idea that black women can exercise their options. You guys want to put black women in a bubble where you think that we can only date you guys, where it's not understanding that race loyalty is a real thing, and there are black women that love black men, and that's just what it is. There are black women that still, regardless of whatever happens, they still love black men, and it's nothing wrong with them loving black men. But my problem is, when you guys see black women dating out, you guys want to call them all kinds of names, and you guys want to call them traitors, etc. But majority of you men are single yourself, you're balding, right? You're unmarried, you don't ever want to get married. But if a black woman is dating outside of her race, all of a sudden you're upset, and then you guys shame black women for being slim, fit, and beautiful. But if a slim woman is being picked up by a white man, you are all of a sudden upset. And what is it about only speaking on black women that date YT men, as if there's not other groups of men that they can date as well? Black women can date Asian men. They can date different types of Indian men. They can date Korean men, Chinese men. They can date Latino men. They can date all groups of men, but you guys are mainly triggered when, they date men that are YT. And you guys want to say, okay, the main thing you guys say is, okay, you guys are letting down your ancestors. Y'all letting down your ancestors. When you have living grandparents and granddads and great grandfathers that may be still existing today, or you have living parents that you don't even care to have a solid relationship with. So why should we believe that this is all about your ancestors when majority of you guys don't even know your own biological father name, or don't care to be friends or family with the people that you have within your family today, because you guys don't really care about community? Because if you guys prioritize that, then more Black women would be married. But you say Black women aren't marriage material, but why is it that when Black women date outside their race, they are receiving rings and getting married? Now, let's get into the facts, because feelings have people loud and wrong. According to the U.S. Census and Pew Research data, Black men are roughly twice as likely to marry outside their race as Black women. Around 24 to 25% of newly Black men marry interracially, compared to about 12 to 13% of newly Black women. So, a lot of times what I don't understand is the bashing that we get from our community on us dating outside of our race and choosing differently and choosing to move up in the podium and choosing to get away from certain struggle love and having a preference, when the originators of swirling or divestment came from our own group of community of leaders that are supposed to be led to protect us, but they literally fought for the right to be in the arms and to marry WW women. Okay? You guys have fought to marry YT women, and you guys are the first to tell us that we are less desirable because of other groups of women. And if we get into the facts of, hey, why didn't you marry your baby mama, or why didn't you marry the last woman that you were with that you took up 4 to 5 years of her time and didn't give her a ring, all of a sudden there's a gasness, a quiet, and there is no answer. And you guys are blaming Black women for being one of the most least demographic groups of women, as if we're supposed to get down on one knee and propose to you. Now, I know that there are some women out here that are pick-me's and they're mammies, and they're getting down and they're proposing to you guys, and you guys think that is the way it's supposed to be, and that's not the way it's supposed to be. Over here, we're practicing the soft life, we're practicing hypergamy, and we're not getting down on no knees to propose to no man. Point blank, period. The idea that Black women are abandoning the race is just false. If anything, Black women are more racially loyal than Black men, even when loyalty hasn't always been reciprocated. That alone should end the conversation, but people don't want data. They just want control, and they want to consume and control the narrative, and they want to place Black women once again in one box. And when you are a Black woman and you date outside of your race and you're not afraid of expanding your options, you're not afraid to go against social odds. And the uncomfortable fact is Black women are the least likely group of women to be married overall, despite being amongst the most educated. That's not because we don't value marriage. It's because the dating market is shaped by economics, mass incarceration, mortality rates, and social bias, not our fault. Once again, not morality, right? That is what our dating market more than likely is shaped by. And this is not a video to bash BM men, because there are men in our community who are educated, who do care about Black women, who do care about loving Black women. And I know that some Black women out here are existing in Black love, in positive relationships, and that is beautiful. But we also have to acknowledge the Pookies and the Ray Rays of the community that want to sit online behind the podcast and are judging women for dating outside their race or getting into a relationship instead of building a family of their own. We have to also acknowledge the trash, not saying that everything is, one and one and all. There is nothing in this world that is an absolute. So please do not get my words misconstrued, mistwisted, or, you know, disrespected. But I know it's hard for most humans to hear, but we have to acknowledge everything. We cannot just put, you know, pancakes and butter over top of, some eggs and then try to make breakfast. We can't do that. We have to also acknowledge, that rotten fruit that exists on the side of that bowl. Now, let's talk about pairing, which makes people mad. Black women and white men. Study shows that interracial marriages involving white men and black women have comparable and in some cases higher stability rates than several same race pairings. Data from sociology studies and CNS analysts show that white male black female marriages tend to last longer than black male white female marriages and are often more stable than marriages involving black men across racial lines. Yet nobody wants to talk about that because it disrupts the narrative that black women are the problem. If we are the problem, how can we go out and date men that are one of the most desirable groups of men there is, that have plenty of options from all over, and maintain a stability and a marriage that is long lasting? But however, when we're with our own, that we are extremely the problem. So if these men have all these options that you guys claim, and that's why you guys claim that they really don't want us because they have so many options, why are they staying married to us, and why are they putting rings on our finger when they have their pick up the litter and they have a group of women within their own community and outside of their community as well that they could choose from? If we are the problem, are black women really the problem, or do you guys do things that trigger us and make us more masculine, right? And that is the reason why there is so much up and down and controversy about this situation. So when people say that those relationships won't last, the data doesn't support that. What it does support is this: relationships tend to be more stable when women are respected, emotionally supported, and economically secure, regardless of race. Now, one of the narratives and the stereotypes that I do hear a lot on these channels and on these podcasts when people are discussing black women who are dating outside of their race and saying that, okay, if we're dating outside our race, we are being fetishized. First off, do you guys even know what it means for someone to fetishize someone? What do you guys call it when we're in our own community, and majority of the time when we're being spoke upon or things that they like, they want to talk about how our group of women have really big booties, or our, big chest, or our hourglass, or, our DSL lips. What do you call that? Do you not call that fetishizing? I think that a lot of men fetishize people. I think people fetishize people overall. But when it comes to genuine love, I think that can exist as well. But we can't just say because someone is outside of their race that they are fetishizing someone, and not admit that someone can too be in their own same race and still fetishize the person that they are with, just like you guys fetishizes us for being masculine, right? So you guys want to try to go get us work hard labor jobs, and even if you're making a good amount of money, you still don't want to give it to a woman of your own color or your own race because you're feeling like, oh, she doesn't deserve it and she should go out and work because I don't want to look soft and I'm just not going to take care of her. But isn't that what you're supposed to do? Aren't you supposed to provide and protect? Aren't you supposed to provide and protect? Do you think that when you go over to overseas and you ask those women for their hand in marriage, if you decide to get on your knees with your Amazon ring and pull out your $10 ring, that those women, dads, are going to marry their daughters off into your community, another culture, where they're going to be going 50-50, or they're going to be taking care of majority of the bills, or do you think that you're going to have to man up and provide and protect? Let's talk about it. Black women are treated differently because of the intersection of racism and sexism. Black women are judged not just for who they love, but for what that choice supposedly says about their character. A black woman with a white man is accused of self hate, and a black man with a white woman is congratulations. It's nothing but congratulations, and them being constantly congratulated for dating outside their race, and saying that, oh wow, this is celebration, this is someone that you're with that is showing true femininity, when all they have to do is literally just show up and exist. But for the black women, they have to work, 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 and even when they still work, it's not enough. So that's not a convenience to me. Society is more comfortable seeing black men move up racially than seeing black women be chosen by men with social power. What is wrong for black women choosing men with social power? White tea women have done it for years. They already figured the game out. They go and get married young, or they go get educated, and they date men within their social class and their social realm, or are higher up, and they're extremely hypergamous, but they're not shamed for it. They're just called a woman being a woman. But when a black woman does it, all of a sudden we're extremely gold diggers, when most of you guys don't even have any gold for us to dig. Because at the root of it, the outrage isn't about interracial dating. It's about the idea that black women shouldn't be desired by men outside of their race, especially men with status, protection, or privilege. Because you guys do not feel like we are deserving of that kind of privilege, or be exposed to those men of a higher status, because then you would have to put us on the same pedestal as you do other groups of women that can be chosen by these group of men in a patriarchal world. So, God forbid a woman says that she doesn't want to struggle anymore and she wants to live a soft life regardless of her education. All women wants to be taken care of, but when it comes to us, all of a sudden we have to work, work, work forever. When in my experience, and me personally dating outside of my race, I don't even think I've even dated one white man or one guy outside my race that has even cared about what my career is or even what I does, because they're more than likely going to take care of me anyway. And I don't have to shrink myself down. A lot of you times you guys say, well, you guys have to shrink yourself down. You guys have to pretend to be someone else. I don't never have to pretend to be someone else. I am exactly who I am. And that is what they love the most. You have some mammies, right? You have some mammies that come in, and they're a part of it, right? And a lot of them are single, older women who still haven't been chosen, still waiting for their Prince Charming to come on the high horse. And they think because they're bashing other women in their own community that all of a sudden one of them is going to marry them. And it's like, babe, you're 40 plus years old. None of them have married you. You're still waiting on that. And maybe you should start dating out too. Maybe you should start considering your options. Or you have women that are telling us that we shouldn't be dating outside our race, but then you want to complain when we're dating in our race or whatever, and you're claiming that, oh, we're only in there because we want to be whitewashed, or we're self-haters, or we're not good enough, or we shouldn't be doing this and we shouldn't be doing that. But it's like, sis, do you want us to be femcells? I mean, if we're heterosexual women and we're dating men and we want to be married and we want to live a soft life and we want to experience love, because I think that everyone should experience love, what's the problem with that? Now, I am aware that there are a lot of men out there within all groups of men that have trash, and trash is everywhere. And I'm not saying that when you date outside of your race, all of a sudden you're going to be picked up on your white horse and everything's going to be perfect. What I'm saying that is two truths can exist, and there are good and bad in each community. And if a certain community is showing this woman more love, or she's getting cared and nurtured and she's being loved and she's coming up and she's practicing hypergamy and she's being taken care of, what the hell is wrong with that? Should we be a femcell like you alone playing with a rose toy? I don't think so. I think we should be allowed to be loved and be cared for because we too deserve it. That's what that's really undering. The mammy is saying you don't deserve it because I never experienced it. And if I can't experience it, neither can you. And I'm going to shame you because I hope that men are going to wife me up or see me as valuable because I'm thinking like them. And it's like, ma'am, if they haven't chose you yet, what makes you think they do now? And it's all about the male centeredness of it all. And a lot of times people are taking these, talking points from their Dr. Umars, their Kevin Samuels, because a lot of times these men that are, hating on us and stuff like that, they don't even know their daddy. So they're looking at men on YouTube and online for, daddy or father figures, right? And it's like, okay, well, what about these same men that have baby mamas that they're struggling with or kids they're not seeing? Or how about one of them allegedly, started a school and, got all this money for it and scammed you guys outside of that money? So what about the problems that we can have within our community with us dating? Are we not aware of that? Do you think that if we dated inside our community and we just stay race loyal, everything gets peaches and cream then, when all we do is talk about the issues and the problems that we're having and we still haven't found a resolution for it because no actions are ever made? You guys just like to talk about this and talk about that, but you actually don't want to provide real freaking solutions or have a plan. So how is a black woman being loved, provided for, and emotionally supported a threat to the community? The community isn't harmed when a black women are safe, stable, and happy. What actually harms the community is the burnout, the resentment, the unhealed trauma, and forcing women to stay in dynamics that don't serve them. And notice, nobody says black men based on community needs or asks them to stop dating outside of their race, right? As much as they do us, right? And that burden is placed almost exclusively on black women. That's not community, that's expectation without reciprocation. And the truth is, there are fewer marriage eligible black men than black women in many age brackets. There is a complete imbalance in the dating market in the pool. A lot of the good men are already taken, don't want commitment, or are aware of the issues that we have within the community as far as finding men that are marriage minded in their or someone that is in a higher economical status. So because of that, they want to exercise their options and they want to avoid commitment as well, or they're just too selfish to share their resources. So that's not an insult, that's just math. But instead of acknowledging systematic issues, the blame gets placed on black women choices. We're told to choose better in a pool that's smaller and more constrained. So when black women expand their dating options, it's not rebellion, it's adaptation. And adaptation is survival, not betrayal. Women should have to choose between love and loyalty. No woman should be ashamed for wanting partnership, safety, and joy. And no woman should be pressured to stay where she's not valued, just for the sake of optics. And interracial dating doesn't mean that you're anti-black. It does not mean hatred. It means that you have a choice. Why is it that everyone else is allowed to have a preference or a choice but black women? And you guys want to deny us from it, and we're saying no. We have that choice too. We can go where we're desired and we're loved, and we can go where we're happy and where we're getting taken care of. And y'all try to paint it as if y'all concerned about black women's well-being, but that's not true. Y'all are more concerned about losing your access to us because you guys understand our value, and you guys understand that we're one of the most loyal, hold it down, get it done, loving groups of women there are. Not to mention, when you guys talk about women don't cater to you, we have been coddling and catering to you guys literally since birth and even after. It makes people uncomfortable because it forces hard truth. It exposes the BS within the community, and it shows that the rules change depending on who it benefits. So when black women start prioritizing themselves, the old scripts stop working and the guilt stop working, shame stops working, and that scares people who were comfortable with the status quo. You don't have to carry your burden of you seeing us happy. We don't have to carry that. We don't owe anyone romantic loyalty at the expense of their own fulfillment. Love is not activism. Dating is not a protest. Marriage is not a race project. Black women deserve to be loved openly and without apology by whoever treats them right. So if you're mad, be mad, because the fake outrage has never paid Black women's bills, healed our hearts, or protected our peace.